I'm Scott Hutchison.
And I am Jim Pete. We are your fourth grade teachers this year, and what we're doing today is showing you how the students look at their iPad to get all of the important apps that they need to use daily. This is a great opportunity for you to be able to see their perspective, but the really big thing about this is we always recommend parents taking their kids' iPads, and whenever you need to discover what they have to do or what they haven't done, this is your tutorial.
And the parent app, the Seesaw Family one, you're able to communicate with us through the inbox on that and see when an activity has been approved and is in their journal, but you can't see the in-between part, what assignments are given to the students and them working on them and them in draft and things like that. So that's why we want you to be able to see how do you actually grab your kid's iPad and look at that in-between process if you would like to do so.
Look at this as your jumping off point. Watch the video. Obviously you'll have questions. You know that you can communicate with us at any point, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. The big thing here is this is how we communicate with your child at home when they are doing the in-class stuff for us at home or wherever it is that they're working on. So this is that umbrella for you, so you know how to check on what they're doing.
To get into your student's iPad, you're going to click the home button, and their passcodes for fourth grade are 4444, and it'll get you into the home screen. We're going to start off by talking about usernames and emails because that's something that comes up a lot. On the back of each student's iPad is their email and password. Their email is 29_ last name first name @generalmcclain.org. Their password is their 8-digit student ID. They all start off for the most part with 342900, and then they have something specific to them written on the back. Now, to be clear, if it's not asking for the email, then it's probably just this 29_ last name first name. If it is asking for email, you have to include that full thing. All right, back into the iPad itself, we're gonna go straight to Seesaw Classes, which is the hub of where students access all of their assignments. Up in the top left is where you can click to access the students' classes. So you can see we have math and word study, specials, and language arts. So let's start off with specials. Every day this is a requirement. They have assignments at home they need to be doing Monday through Friday. It's a different specials class. We're going to start off by always looking at activities, and if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, the student has things all caught up because there's not a lot of stuff down below. The lowest one in this list is the oldest assignment. They need to click add a response after reading the directions and send in their assignments. So this is how the specials classes work. Monday through Friday, they'll have a new assignment added to this. The inbox here is where they're going to see any messages from those teachers, and notifications is a good place to go to see little comments that have been added or things like a teacher has sent back something. So this is a good place if you want to know what happened to your assignment or what's going on. This inbox notifications is a great place to go. Now let's take a look at one of the core classes, math and word study. In this class, just the same as in specials, we have the journal. These are where all the approved items go, so it's not super helpful for seeing what your child still needs to do. The activities tab and the inbox are where you want to be looking. So in the activities tab, again, scroll down, you can see the oldest things. This student is right on track with having a lot of things turned in. Finish response means that they're working on it and it was drafted. And so you can see that for both of those documents here. If we look at the inbox and go to notifications, this is where we can see what's happened recently. And so you can see the teacher has sent back your work for review, and then you might see a comment or something like this as well, like check off your word study once you finish Mondays. And so this is where you can see why something was sent back, and you can actually click on that and it'll take you to the document that you need to fix and take care of. So this is a really, really great resource to know what needs to be happening still. All right, if we go to the activities, this is an in-class thing. Let's take a look at the daily agenda. Every single day, Mr. Pete and I send a daily agenda to the students. So if we hit finish response, this is where you can actually look at the daily tasks that are going on. At home, we can see things for the parents. There's nothing that the parents need to be doing. And then math, every single day, these are their home tasks for math. So it's fast math, which is our basic facts practice, and 20 minutes of eSpark. It might be ST Math, something like that. But once those are done at home, the student will check those off and submit back to the teacher. In school, these are things that we are doing in school and they aren't supposed to be doing at home. You can see the child has already taken care of those and checked them off, and same for math. They've done what they've needed for that. Now, once a student does everything they need at home, they'll officially go ahead and hit the check mark. If they're still working on it, then they're going to hit draft, and it'll draft it to work on for later. So this is the process that they go through, and this is what you can do to look and see what your child needs to be doing. Specifically focus on that agenda. It tells what they need to do. So if your kid is saying, I don't need to do something, or you have a question about if they need to do something, just look at this. If it's not on here, they don't need to do it. All right, over to Mr. Pete.
Now we're going to take a look at language arts with Mr. Pete. Now, there's not a whole lot different between what I do and what Mr. Hutch does. You can see the agenda, and there it is. It's in draft, which is exactly where your students should be when they come home from school. Actually, at 7:40 in the morning, what I want the PM kids to be doing is to check it out and put it right into draft. So usually by noon, every kid is already in draft. So you should, if you're in journal mode, see your child with a draft for today's agenda. Again, in activities, when you click that, you can see exactly, and mine is going to be the same every single day. There is a free write, or the writing, which you'll see a slide there with a video. And if you tap that, you can go ahead and see the video. I'm not going to play that because you're already watching me in video, and that would be too meta. So we're going to click the X there. Again, there's this finish response button. That lets you know it's in draft. If it's not in draft, you'll see a green button there that says add response. When you tap that, it will take you right into what they're doing for that day. And again, you can see if they want it in draft, they can click there once they're finished with their check marks. And all you have to do to check mark is add that right there, okay? Again, not very different from Mr. Hutch's, so they should be doing the same thing for Mr. Hutch and for Mr. Pete. Most of the kids are doing a great job with that. Coming out of that, the inbox, again, that's going to show you any school announcements, class announcements, notifications. If I send any messages, you can see that I commented to that student, updates that the student makes, updates that I make. And we do have a blog. We have just messed around with it up to this point, so you aren't going to see anything there, but that is something you're going to want to take a look at as we proceed through the year, because that's something that we are going to be adding to. And we can connect that blog to other classrooms in the building, which should be really exciting. Not only other classrooms in the building, but other classrooms at General McLean. All right, so that's really everything that you need to know with regards to Seesaw. Check Seesaw a lot to make sure your kids are turning in on time. And for language arts, remember this: the free writes must be attached to this draft. All they need to do is, once they're in this draft through the activities, all they have to do to add that picture is tap this camera. And if they want to do a video, they're welcome to read that. I love getting the videos because I love hearing their voice. Or they can go ahead and hit that photo button, and what that photo button does is allows them to take a picture. Okay, that has to be done every day so I can check their writing off. Now, the other two things that I want to talk to you about is getting out of Seesaw. There are lots of other ways that we communicate. If you notice in every agenda, I do ask the kids to check their emails. That's always the first thing that they should do. We don't use the email app that we're also used to using on our phones. What we use is this app called Outlook. It's usually one of the things right up here. All you have to do is type in OUT and it'll be the first thing that pops up. You go ahead and click that. And every email, and I do tell my kids not to delete emails. We'll do that all together, because a lot of these things are uploads, and if for whatever reason a child deletes something, it's always good to have that email as a backup. But you can see every email that I've done with this student is still there like I've asked. All the emails from any other teacher will be there as well until they tell them to go ahead and delete those. So remember, because we have a hard time remembering it, it's Outlook, not the Mail app for the iPhone. The other thing that we use to communicate with the students, and this is a really neat item, however, there are definitely rules for that, is this app. It's called Microsoft Teams. It is the purple app with a T on it. You go ahead and click that. And the first thing that you need to know about this is that the students are told right away that they are not allowed to communicate with other students with this in any way. They can't use Hangouts, they can't do videos, they can't do anything. The only thing that they can do with this is when they're in class, they can communicate with their team, which you'll see here. They have Teams for Classcraft, which is an app that we use to monitor behavior and have some fun with. There is a general place where they can talk to, but generally speaking, they're not going to use that. But the one thing that I do want to make note of is this. The chat function is a great way for your child to communicate with us. It's just another way. They can leave a message in Seesaw, they can send us an email, or they can chat with us specifically. And all they have to do that is type the teacher's name. You can see Mr. Hutch is there. For me, it's once you start typing James Pete. Now you'll notice other students' names. They are not permitted to talk to their friends. We do monitor this, but it's also something to consider at home. If you check Teams and you see chats with other students, what you should see here in this private chat area are only teachers and anything that we've okayed. So there's every app that your child is going to use on a daily basis here in McCain Fourth. This is just your reference to check on them to make sure they're doing everything that they need to do. And of course, if you ever have any questions, if using apps is not your thing and you just want to ask us, you can always just reach out.
Yeah, so how do you reach out? If you go to the Seesaw Family app, you can use the inbox and ask us questions on there. We both receive that. Or you can just use our emails, scotthutchison@geraldmcclain.org or jamespete@geraldmcclain.org, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
All right, have fun with the apps.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.